Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Saturday, Saturday. We came to the Lake Portage Campground inside the Waterloo Recreation Area here in Michigan. The Waterloo Recreation Area is a very large state park that extends, I don't know how many miles, but it's a huge state park that has like 4 campgrounds and a whole bunch of lakes in it. It's incredible. So we picked this one basically just because they had the most spaces available. So we're set up here. They're the folks roughing it as usual in front of the TV. And then the Queen's right over here. So we got a nice setup here with the 2 RVs right together. We're going to have a fire later. We got to come up with a name. We got to come up with a name for what we do. Because this is not glamping. Glamping, is sort of really high class, where you got those big tents and the luxury beds and everything. This is sort of half between roughing it and glamping. So what would we call this? We got to come up with a term.
High-end redneck.
Not too bad, not too bad. It's sort of a high-tech camping, with the mobile internet and the TVs and everything. It's camping with technology. It's teching.
Camping.
Yeah, it's teching or something like that. We'll work on that. We'll come up with a better term. But anyway, a couple of quick updates for you as to what's going on with the Queen. Right here, I'll show you. Got the bumper remounted. The spare tire is no longer mounted on it. The spare tire is actually mounted underneath, as you can see there. I'm not thrilled with it being under here because it really is low to the ground, but this is originally where it was mounted. The mechanism that holds it up was broken, so I had to get a replacement. And I guess I'll just leave it under there for a while and see if it works. In the meantime, what I also did was I installed these support brackets called safety struts, which are made for RVs. Now, this is me talking into the bumper. You see, they just bolt right onto the frame rails there. It's actually meant to have 3 bolts on it, but there was not enough room. These frame rails are too thin to fit all 4, so I just put the 2. And I also re-welded the bumper on, but I used about 3 times as much welding rod this time, because I noticed that the welds themselves are not what broke. Or excuse me, the welds themselves are what broke. It didn't break off at the frame rails. It didn't break off at the bumper. The welding material itself is what broke, which means I didn't use enough. My welding technique was okay, I just didn't use enough welding rod, so I used a whole crap load this time. And I got the bumper box put back on. See, it's pretty scratched up, but it functions okay. It was a little bit twisted, so basically what I did was, on this side, you can still see my footprint. I just gave it a swift kick, and it bent back into shape. So now it opens and closes and locks and everything. Now, in addition to that, this morning as I was leaving the house to come to this campground, I had a little incident. I started the van, and all of a sudden there was a really weird noise coming from the TV. Only lasted a couple of seconds, but it shouldn't be making any noise. It was turned off. So I went in the back, tried to turn it on. It wouldn't turn on. There was some kind of power surge. When I started the van, it fried my new TV. It's dead. In addition to that, the little TV in the back, that's dead too. Even though they weren't turned on, they still had some kind of power connection in there, and when there was a surge, it fried them both. So that sucks. And unfortunately, neither one of them is covered under warranty. So $300 lesson learned, unfortunately. So I have to replace them, and from now on I will leave them unplugged when I'm not using them, and especially when I'm going to be doing anything that might change the voltage, such as starting the engine or plugging in the power cord, because it's just a risk that I didn't even realize was a problem. So that's an annoyance, but it's not world-shattering. Now, the next one is a big deal. This is something my Facebook fans are already aware of. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have gotten a sneak peek on this. So I'm going to bust it out and I'm going to show it to you. It's a big one. All right, folks, this is it. This is something I have wanted to do since I started this channel 3 years ago. You ready? Here it is. Oh yeah, that's right, folks. A video drone. This is the DJI Mavic Pro. It's got a 4K camera mounted on a gimbal, and it is capable of incredible flight and incredible videos. I picked this up used a few weeks ago, and I've been sitting on it. Well, not literally, but it comes with 3 batteries, charger, a remote control that attaches to my cell phone, and I just have been playing around with it at home. I cannot wait to get it out today and get some good video and show it to you. Now, like I said, if you followed me on Facebook at facebook.com/randommichigander, like I tell you at the end of every episode, you'd have already known about this, and you would have already gotten a sneak peek. So go to facebook.com/randommichigander, and maybe you'll actually be able to keep up on some things in the future. But this was a big one. This was something I've been wanting for a long time, and I finally saved up the money and got one. So what do you say we put her up in the air and see what we can do? Alright folks, so as you saw, the drone takes some very nice footage. I am still practicing with it. I'm far from an expert flyer, but I'm getting pretty good at it. It's got a lot of very cool features where it'll fly itself, like you put it over top of something, you mark that location, then you pull back, you get the shot you want, and it automatically rotates around the object to get a nice view. Or it's got something called active tracking, where you select an object on the screen and it will automatically follow that object. I did that a little bit out there trying to follow the boats. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, all things considered. So that was the first time I've had the drone out beyond my own yard. So I've really enjoyed flying it, and I'm looking forward to flying it a lot more. So anyway, here we are back at camp. We are just gonna make some burgers. We got a little portable fire pit, as you can see. We got this thing online. It folds up and tucks away, and you just open it back up, and you got yourself a fire pit. It has a wire mesh on the bottom to allow airflow up, which means you got really good fires. And our little tripod for cooking. And we use this fire pit here because, you know, I've said it before, these state park fire pits are absolutely useless. The fire is down inside this hole. It doesn't get any oxygen. You can't build a good fire out of it. And you can't even hardly feel the heat anyway. When you're sitting in a chair next to it, the heat is all blocked by the walls of this thing. So we much prefer ours. So we're going to use that from now on. It's even got a little heat shield on the bottom so it doesn't burn any grass or anything you set it up on. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's it. Real quick, simple trip out here today just for the sake of getting away. So next weekend we are going to the Alma Highland Festival once again. I don't know if I'm going to actually record any video there because I did it last year and I don't really like repeating myself, but haven't really made a final decision yet. So anyway, thank you for watching, and remember, if you liked the video, hit the little thumbs up down below. It really does help me out. And then follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/RandallMichigander, and we'll see you next time. Take care.